And a haircut would just be like if you'd gone Fantastic Sam, same difference. It's the same way with makeup or skincare. If I sell you $500 worth of product and don't really teach you what to do with it and what's possible, you're just going to look like the same old lady tomorrow, just in a different color. And if you do that enough, then that person's really not going to have those happy, wonderful feelings towards you. But on the other hand, if we teach her how to look great, then she's going to feel great. And when she puts that makeup on her hair, on her face every day, she's going to have good, happy feelings associated with you. So that's our goal. So I want to approach this a couple of ways tonight. And one of them is with hair and one's with makeup. Because every time I'm doing hair, every time anybody calls and says, what is the most common thing that people say to me when they come sit in my chair? I hate your mirrors and I wish I was thinner. Well, most people don't think that I can make them thinner, but I can. I can cut your hair and make you look like you lost 10 pounds. I can do your makeup and make you look like you lost 10 pounds. And a lot of times they just look at me like I'm nuts, but it really is true. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to cut their hair to help them look thinner. But everybody wants to feel that way. So I'm just going to give you guys some principles that we use in everyday hair and makeup, and also in theater hair and makeup, where we just take the same principles and exaggerate them bigger. I'm going to give you these principles. It's the same ones we use all the time. But remember this, once you understand a principle or a rule, then you can break that rule and use it to your advantage. For instance, we all know that if you take yellow and blue, mix together, what color do you get?
Green.
Green. So green hair isn't what most of my clients want. However, those same clients hate red. So I know that I can use a gold and a blue color, and I can cut red by making green. See how I took that rule and then broke it? But you got to really know the rules before you can break them effectively. So that's what this is all about. And like I said, it's just what we do every day, and then also in theater, but we exaggerate it. So we'll start with hair. And I just drew out a few of these. So I have something to draw on. And one of the first things that people usually come to me and they ask me about highlights. And usually when they start asking about highlights, it's because they've discovered a couple of gray hairs, or because they're just bored, or because everybody else is getting highlights and that's just what they know to ask for. But a lot of times when people ask me about highlights, I'm just asking, what was the result you're hoping for, whatever. And highlights isn't necessarily what they need. So one of the first principles I would like to talk about is this. Dark colors, whether it's hair or makeup, make things look thicker and deeper. Light colors,
Thicker and deeper.
thicker and deeper. Like a sunken in place would look deeper. Like my bags under my eyes. If I put dark on them, they're going to look deeper and darker. Hair, if I put dark color on it, it's going to look like there's more of it there. It's got more depth and more solid firmness to it. Okay? Highlights, when they're highlights, show the movement of the hair. Guess what? It's the same thing with the face. A highlight shows movement. So if the bone moves this way and we put a highlight on that, we just made that bone look bigger. This is the principle. If you take a square or rectangle painting, all right, I can't do it on there, say like on the fireplace. You take a rectangle painting and you want that to become the focal center point of your room. Then you are going to put a rectangle mat around it and then a rectangle frame, and you're going to center it with that rectangle position on that mantle. And now it becomes a center point, and that's where the eye goes to. So we have exaggerated it. But if we want to do just the opposite, and we want to play something down and soften it, then we would take that rectangle and turn it on its side. Or if you took a square. I really need to draw this for you guys. If you take a square, here's a square. A square is made out of triangles. So if I take those triangles and turn them on their side, I end up with something that looks like this. So literally, I take that shape, turn it, and now I have softened it, or I have downplayed it. Do you guys ever watch What Not to Wear?
Yes.
Okay. What they do on the whole show, they spend all their time showing people how to maximize their best features and minimize the ones they don't like as much. And this is the principle that they use. So let's put this into hair. If you've got your face, let's say it's as wide as it is long, and you want to change that shape, you want to minimize that feature, then you're going to take that and turn it here. How are you going to put a triangle on top of your head? It sounds ridiculous, but it actually works. Let me show you. Let's say this is my little girl and she needs this hairstyle. Then the best thing I can do is put width in her hair here and height in her hair here. She's kind of looking like Cindy Lou Who right now, right?
I was thinking that, and I didn't want to say it.
But another principle is asymmetry. Asymmetry always fools the eye. It makes the eye have to kind of jiggle instead of comparing side by side. So if we part this hair on the side, and we take this hair like this, and then we give her a little side swept bang, are you starting to see? So see, we actually have put, now we've got this little triangle going here, this one here. We've got this thing happening here. See how that works? And of course, we got to, make her more in style, so let's give her a little of that too. All right, now, same chick, but she wants highlights. What's the smartest thing I can do with highlights? Because I want to bring out her best features. I don't want to widen, or I'm trying to widen her face. So I'm going to take highlights that go this way, away from the face. But I might take darker hair and make her hair look thicker at the bottom. It's amazing, isn't it? Just simple little principles like that can change the way our look and our customers look. Now we take that same principle and put it into makeup. Highlights, lowlights. High where I want to exaggerate something or show movement. Low when I want to sink something in and downplay it. Another way we can create a thinner look is by adding height. You've seen the little girls with the ponytails, you've seen them, where they do the knot on their head. Well, the thing is that looks really crazy and messy, but we can take that same principle and use it in a formal style, a casual style, or everyday at the gym style. You literally can take that hair, instead of just pulling it in a ponytail, put it in a ponytail with purpose. Put that hair up here where you see a little height coming off the top of the head. Or tease that ponytail a little bit where you see some fullness coming off the back of the head, because the profile counts too. Along that same line, we can also use the way we do our bangs. Bangs or no bangs. People come in and that's one of the things they ask me all the time. Do you think I should do bangs? What should I do about my bangs? It's just is it not just a constant? Because first you cut them and then you grow them and then you cut them and then you grow them. You never know what you should do.
My story of my life.
My hairdressers are still in my life. Make them gray, make them blonde, make them red, who knows. Okay, so again, going back to the principle, asymmetry always fools the eye. Think about Cher. She's long, she's thin, she's got that long thin nose, even her eyebrows are kind of long and thin. How does she wear her hair? She parted it in the middle and wore it straight down. So she elongated her whole look. The same is true with everything that we do, and we can use that on purpose, but we're going to offset it with a side part. But now we're talking bangs, so if we, let's say we offset it here, and here's the hairstyle. Now, what do we do with our bangs? Instead of a solid line, because what happens if I cut this face in half, it just got shorter, right? Shorter makes things wider. If you don't believe me, just look at my pictures a year ago. Okay, so how do I wear bangs but not chop my face in half? Well, I need to be able to see through those bangs and see hair. So I'm going to do wispier bangs that I can see through. or I'm going to pull my bangs straight back where I see forehead. Most of us, if we have any lines around our eyes or whatever, we don't want to show our whole foreheads unless we just got Botox and we're proud about it. So most of the time, we'll pull most of that hair back and we'll have a little wispiness in one corner and then offset it with a little thicker bang on the other side, which is basically what I'm sporting in a very avant-garde fashion. But you can do the exact same thing in a much more conservative way, just within the haircut.
I love your hair.
Oh, thanks.
I totally love it.
Thank you. So mine is very avant-garde. It's very extreme, right? But you could be a very, very conservative person and still have asymmetry inside a symmetric haircut. And that's most of my clients. So, for instance, this little chick, if we gave her a little bob right here, now she has asymmetry inside a symmetric haircut. However, we got to be careful where we put this line, because if we put that line right here, we just shorten her face again.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is bring it down on the neck or above the jawline. Now that sounds crazy, right? But if you take that hair and you put it right here, guess what you just did? You just kind of sliced in two and you thinned the cheekbone just like you would if you were doing makeup. So all of these things, you can do exactly this same presentation for your parties with makeup and with hair. And I'll tell you how I did this. All you do is Google it. My daughter posted something online, and I actually have to agree with her. And it said, it turns out being an adult is really just Googling how to do stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty much true. You literally can Google hairstyles to make me thinner, makeup to make me thinner, and then you take that information and you just make it yours. And then you put your experience into that format. So a bob on top, a little bob that comes below the neckline with wispy bangs. A top knot with wispy asymmetric bangs. A highlight to show that the hair is moving away from the face. Or a highlight that brings the eye here around so that it frames my face. So where you put your highlights, where you put your lowlights, whether or not you go with dark hair or light hair, all of these things are going to change the way that we perceive ourselves in the mirror. But it boils down to, we want to bring out the best features. Most people's best feature is either their lips or their eyes. So think of contouring and makeup with these same kinds of principles. If we want something to be smaller and thinner, we're going to darken it. If we want to show it off, we're going to make it lighter. So I would love to do a contouring on somebody.
Oh, that would be me.
Okay, good.
Well,
I guess nobody stood a chance.
Maybe if we twist her arm, she'll do it.
I'm telling you, I so need that stuff.
Let's
grab a
this
chair.
chair.
Are we okay?
Girl, come on down. The price is right.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Did I not say, Michael Ian, I needed like some serious makeup help, and I've been in the business 5 years, but I do need like that.
Okay. Okay, now y'all, I'm going to say a lot of things that are very much common sense and probably common practice to you guys because you do makeup a lot. But remember, all these details add up and they count. So, this reminds me when I was young in beauty control, they used to use colors.
Oh yeah, the color drapes.
That's it.
Okay. Michael Ann has been kind enough to bring me makeup.
The brushes are right behind the bag.
I'm sorry, Paisley.
I'm going to need your eyeshadows.
Okay.
What you need to know from a makeup artist is that Beauty Control has the best brushes that I've ever used. And I'm going to show you why. This brush is, can you see how it's like, right?
Yeah.
And that's a nice brush.
Yeah.
And I want you to feel this. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this is a Beauty Control brush. This brush has been washed. And you feel the difference?
It's kind of prickly in this.
Yes. Huge difference.
So how do you wash your brush?
I use
fast all the
shampoo.
time. Okay.
There's probably some special wash. The most
is.
important thing is that it is super gentle. And I wash my brushes like this, and then I rinse them like this.
Lash and lid bath works too.
I was gonna say I use my lash and lid bath when I don't use shampoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I put them like this,
baby
and I either let them dry
shampoo
like
or
this,
like
or just lay them down.
any kind of shampoo.
And the
I
last
think
time I
like a
did that, I
2-in-1
actually
with
didn't do it
conditioner in it.
early enough, and I had a wedding, and I had to blow dry them. This
Oh.
brush lived all the way through that. It's fine. Okay, these are your beauty control brushes. And those are your best. Now this brush, I think we call it a blush brush, but this is an awesome contouring brush. My favorite contouring brush, Beauty Control doesn't make it, but they probably will eventually because this is a very popular brush. It's dense and it's compact, but it's super, super soft. Okay, so these are the ones I use the most when I'm doing contouring. And I took this one and cut it off, trying to make a good blunt. No, I don't recommend doing that. Just so you know, it's probably not a good choice. All right, so the most common shadows that I use when I'm doing contouring on the darks are going to be your chocolate and espresso. The difference is going to be the skin tone because one is a little warmer and the other is a little cooler. So all I'm going to do is create a shadow with that.
Chocolate and what?
Espresso.
Thank you.
Did you take your white Explorer?
No.
Sorry.
White Explorer?
Or that white Ford?
I have a silver Ford
I have a rental car.
The one that's in the driveway.
behind.
The place I'm going to put the most contouring is on the largest area when we go there first.
My
Obviously.
mouth.
Hey, we ain't got enough of that.
I'm sorry.
You picked the class clown, you know that, right?
Apparently so. Okay, turn your face sideways. Now, I think we should do one side or the other. You guys pick. Now, turn your face this way. Which side you guys think we should do?
I think you should do the whole thing.
We
Do
gotta
your
do one
left
side or the
side.
other so we can see the difference.
Okay.
What do you think?
Now, the other thing I will, well, I'll just do this side since it's closer to me.
Okay.
I will warn you this, that your lighting is always going to fool you, but I'm going to let that happen tonight anyway because I want to exaggerate this so you really see it. Okay? The thing that's cool is when you get too much, because you will, you use your wet dry as an eraser. And you literally tone it and blend it right back down, and that's what I usually do all day long. Because I'll contour my face a little bit later, I'll put powder a little bit later for powder, and I'll just keep touching it up throughout the day. All right, so you see that she naturally has this little hollow. Now, if I really want to play that up, I'm just going to go right into the middle of that little hollow. You see what just happened? Now, if you just kind of blur your eyes a little, you're going to see this sunk in place. All right, but what we're going to do.
Yeah, oh yeah, you want to come
All
back
right,
over
come
here?
on.
Sorry about
Turn
that.
your head, turn your head. Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm going to follow the underneath the bone structures. Let me smooth that one. I kind of made my point with that one.
Now, will you
Now, was
put
that that real
espresso on
blunt
there?
brush that
This
you
is the blunt brush, and this is this the espresso? Does that say espresso?
Yes.
Yes, this is espresso.
You're actually putting eyeshadow on her face.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I'm not judging. I'm
Because,
I've used eyeshadow on the lips. So.
all right, so
Okay.
I'll here so you guys can see. So
And
I'm
you're
going to
both
follow the
right.
line of the cheekbone.
That's right.
I'm gonna use the edge of my brush, and I'm gonna create a line, and I'm literally gonna follow this cheekbone. And I'm going to
Gosh,
shadow
already.
underneath it this way,
Wow. Oh my gosh, I
and
can't
she
believe
should
that.
start losing weight already.
She is. Get it.
Oh,
This is so awesome.
I didn't even drink all my water today.
Think about a skull. Think about a skull without
That's
muscles
crazy.
over the top of it. Wherever that skull sinks in, that's where we want to, because that's how we're going to thin the face. So we're going
You
to
just are
just
so
so notice I haven't added any more product. I'm just going to a little
This is
more
all
here.
espresso. Is that what you're saying?
This is all espresso, yes. Now, I want to be very careful here because I could go up higher, and what's going to happen when I put dark in here?
It's gonna make her eyes
And
sink in.
we'll give her, that's right, make her eyes really sink in, and we don't want that. We want to exaggerate her eyes and bring her eyes out. So we're going to stay with her so I'm doing this with my brush in order to come away from the eye and toward the end of the nose.
Like a fingertip down, maybe, or? Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Now,
She's eyeballing it.
you guys are going to love this next
Yes,
step.
Trying to see part of my personality.
And you can do this with a small eyeshadow brush is probably best because I don't think they probably frown on us touching people with our hands. I don't know, but as an artist, I usually sanitize my hands a lot and just do it with my hands. But that's called her bow tie. So you always want to touch your bow tie, and you'd rather have too much than not enough.
Really?
Yes, because what we're going to do next is we're going to take.
I have a mustache.
Now, a lot of times I will outline around the mouth with this, just like I would with lip liner. It's just a white pencil. Or I will do that with a very small brush. And Beauty Control has some really nice angled brushes. And what I'm going to do is take a white. Now, it's important that people who have lines around their eyes usually don't have a lot of lines. You have
DNA,
maybe
baby.
this one line right here and then nothing. Where somebody like me, I might not look like in this lighting and at this distance, but if you start putting sparkly eyeshadow on me, I will get 10 years older like real fast. So you want to stay in your mattes. If anybody has lines around their eyes, you want to stay in your matte colors. Okay, this one happens to be white, and I honestly can't see if it has sparkles in it or not. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to use your angle brush, and I just want you to hit back for me. I'm literally going to line both sides of that bow tie with a white line, and then I'm going over the top of the lip. You probably can't see that, and that's okay. But just so you can see it, I'm going to exaggerate it for you. This is more of a theater thing, what we would do. That's what we're doing.
This is for kitchen. She can't see.
Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Now what I'm going to do is calm that down a little bit. Okay?
Last time I got a makeover from Callahan, she plugged my eyebrows.
You what?
Maybe go out of the line. Look, I have always been accused of coloring outside the lines.
I'm sorry, Ramona. I'm so happy.
Okay, there, now we got it back on line.
She's so happy.
She's so happy. Okay. All right, so this is your basic contouring with powders. If you were doing this with creams or with foundations, you would do exactly the same principle. You would just put your darkest tones here and your lightest tones where I put the white, okay? Now, another thing I like to do on mine, sorry.
It's okay.
I like to play up my cheekbones, and this is how you do that.
Which color is that?
This is
What
cocoa.
color?
linen.
Yeah.
Like the one that comes with the
That's
5
pearls. That's the
Oh dear,
pearls
this is a
iridescent.
shiny, sorry.
It's okay.
You don't have lines though, so it's okay. If you were to put pearls on me, you'd probably be like, ooh, girl. Okay, so are you guys seeing this now? Okay, now if I really wanted to get nuts, which I don't,
Get crazy.
you can
Okay.
see where she's got a little, here, some little redness.
Yeah, it's called rose.
We have this green product, and that is what it's for.
Yes.
Okay? Before you, but by the way, before you do any of this, you always want to have your moisturizer and your foundation on. Okay? And then you're going to do right on top of your foundation, just dab, 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 and then smooth it in with your contouring if you're going to use the greens or the yellows or anything like that. I do. Like I said, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. I put it on top, and then I dab back over the top of that. So it's literally
So
layering
actually,
it
you
in.
have your foundation on, and then you're putting all this on
This is
top of the
exactly.
foundation, because you're actually contouring over the foundation.
Yes, that's the way I do it.
You put your
Because,
green on top of the foundation.
yes.
Sweet to know. Okay.
Now, a side note, this is for you guys to be able to go out and teach it in your parties. Please play with this in your own bathroom, in your own faces. Because, you know, I can just see that turning into, wow, she has green cheeks. Wow. So we're talking tiny amounts of product that go a long way because you're dabbing it with a wet sponge or you're dabbing it with, you know, just the tip of your finger. And then you're using your foundation brushes and stuff to blend light touch, light touch, light touch. Okay? Matter of fact, that's the next step. So sometimes, depending on how much contouring I have, I will go right on top of my contouring with my blush. I'm just going to choose This one. I like this one. Let's use, what does that say? Cranberry?
Yes.
That's my favorite one. Okay, we're gonna use cranberry.
Look at that, I haven't used it yet.
And I will go right on top of it. And I, instead of on her face, instead of a straight line, I'm trying to play up that bone and that roundness of that bone. So I'm literally going around the eye. And then I'll touch up a little bit over her forehead where I put that other contouring here in this area. Now we don't want to forget that we've got this going on around her mouth, and sometimes I'll even go in a little dark here, but she's already got a really prominent feature here, so there's no real reason to do that with hers. Now another thing that I like to do with my contouring, sometimes make it up as I go, depending on what I see. I will come under here, and I will strengthen this jawline by drawing a line underneath it.
She's strengthening her jawline.
That's good. Lord knows I need a lot of it.
Isn't that nice?
I got a loose jaw, according to my husband. So.
Be careful, you're on film.
It's okay. I'm not saying anything he don't know.
If any of your clients have a double chin, this is a great trick with them. Just make sure you don't get it too dark. You want to go lighter than darker because you could end up with a bearded lady.
And not only that, but then too, you want the makeup to look natural when
Right.
it gets through.
That's right.
And you don't want to look like it's got lines here.
Right. You want everything to end up blending. The purpose of it is to end up blending, which we're going to do with our wet dry at the end. Okay? So at this point, we're kind of exaggerating. We're playing it up, and we've got all this craziness going on.
The whatever it is.
Espresso.
You're doing the espresso again.
Yeah, I'm going back over it just to make, because the lighting is kind of messing with my eyes, so I want to make sure you guys can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so I did the blush here in a kind of a circular motion. So you see
That was
this,
cranberry.
that was cranberry. You see this light around here? I didn't put anything here, but you're seeing that movement because I came underneath it with my color. So what we were talking about, the principles of darker and lighter, then what you're seeing is the way it's playing off of that bone shape. Okay? So
Y'all
now,
didn't put any like concealer on her or anything.
no.
I mean, it's like your red even looks toned down, but like you look so smooth under your eye right there. It is awesome.
You look fit. You do look thinner.
That's awesome. I really need
It actually looks like something's wrong with one of your eyes.
The other one. You look a little bit like you've had a stroke. Okay. That's fine.
Am I the only one that's seeing that? No. Okay. It
But
looks
you got a perfect seat for that, though. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at you, and it looks like something's wrong with your eye.
Which
so
eye?
I want to say,
Which eye?
well, it looks like
The
that
tired
eye is
one
a
that's
brain step
drooping.
higher.
The tired one that's drooping over there.
It's higher, and that's what you wanted to do, is make it higher, because you're thinning her face down.
But it's so weird that it looks so smooth under her eye. That's just so cool.
Okay, now this is wet dry,
Great.
and I'm going rather heavy because I want all of this to blend now. And remember, she's got her her moisturizer and her foundation on, and now remember those little white lines? And now I'm just going to make sure they're blended, and I'm covering them. And everything.
What if she didn't wear foundation? What if all she wore was wet dry? Or you're saying
Actually,
don't
if
do
she wants
that.
to contour, she would at least need some CC cream.
Okay.
Because you've got to have some color to
Something
blend
to
with.
stick to,
Right,
okay.
you got to have something to work with.
Did you have some foundation on underneath it?
From 4 o'clock this morning.
So, mistake number one, I didn't put your foundation.
But
Okay.
not really. But
you
I will tell you, the new primer, I've used the new primer. I love that stuff. It
What-
makes any makeup look good.
What about pores? Does it help with your pores?
I don't have pores.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, I
use
know
this
I
as an
have
eraser.
pores.
I know what you
but,
mean. I know what you mean.
Like, I just,
The best
That's
thing
what
is,
yours
if
is
you
like.
have a line that you don't like, you can always come back in and
I
soften
was
that line. That's what I'm
so
doing right now, where I really
because you
exaggerated
said
those white lines.
stop
If this
Like
was
everything
theater,
you're using,
there'd be no reason to soften this. I would want that to show up like crazy because under the lights it's all going to disappear. This isn't theater. That was the point that I wanted to make. So I'm going to erase those lines just like this.
And then my second was pores. But I have
haven't made any
slack
best
and
friend
not
on
get
social
motivation.
media.
Like, I only do it like once a week.
Okay, so now we've got the contouring, we've got all that started, so now what we're gonna do is talk about her eyes. Because
This is freshman.
what we wanna do with her eyes now is the same type of principle we wanna bring out and we want to sink in. We wanna play up the shape of her eyes. So if we look, now, old-fashioned rule still works that you wanna take something and just look at here, here, and here. And that's on an ideal face, that's where your arch is, halfway, your iris is in the middle here, you're going from the nose to up here through the iris, that's where your arch is gonna be. You're gonna stop right there, so all this would be tweezed off, and you're gonna come out to the edge of the eye, and that's where it's gonna stop. And she's really right on target. So this is gonna be one of her best features that we really wanna maximize. So we're gonna do that.
My eyebrows on target? I don't
Yeah,
need to get
girl.
them tweezed. That's
Well,
awesome.
you could clean up a little.
Okay.
Create more of an arch, you know? Sorry.
All right, my
But as far as the
Speak
length,
the truth in love.
It's okay. The same Seasoned with grace. It's good.
but as far as the length of her eyebrows, she's great. I'm gonna tell y'all, my eyebrows stopped growing right about here. It's very scary. It's very like Dr. Dark. That's pretty much the reason I chose these colors. However, this one's kind of got a little ash green tone to it, and I know that this is gonna look good with your skin tone. I know it's gonna look with your eyes. Because you have yellow in your eyes, that warmth is coming from little yellow flecks. So I know green's gonna work. It's gonna exaggerate. I could put yellow on you, but that'd make the rest of your skin make you look sort of sick, right? Like you probably don't look great in yellows.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna do green. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put my highlight first, and then I'm gonna shadow, and then if I need to go back and make corrections, that's easy to do. I always, well, usually start with my lace color first.
Okay.
I might need to trade places with you. Sorry, I'm
Sorry.
making this.
No,
so
that's
difficult. I'm sorry. I'm used to chairs that turn in circles, you know. Okay, close,
I can
please.
do that, but it wouldn't
Okay.
really be the
Now this is where I'm coming up, and if you can see what I'm doing, I'm going right on top of where her eyebrows need to be waxed.
Told you.
I know, I gotta find somebody I trust. My other person
Me?
moved away. What? No, you killed me the last time.
Okay, now watch. Open your eyes. Do y'all see the difference now?
No, my glands go away.
See, already, all I did was put a highlight line at the top. You see the difference already taking shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going underneath here into the corner of the eye because I want to open that eye. Okay, relax. She's all scrunched up and getting nervous here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm coming in here with my green, and I'm going to do two different eyes so you see two totally different looks. Relax. Now, you can have very conservative hair and get away with really crazy, outlandish makeup. Or you can have very avant-garde hair, and you need to play it down by using more conservative makeup. And this is kind of a principle that I tell all the girls that come to work with me. Why? Remember back in the 20s when you were trying to find yourself? Well, when I was doing that, I was a hairdresser, and so I was doing
I
black
thought you meant
lace.
the 1920s, and I was
Right.
like, you weren't alive then.
No, in your 20s. I was doing black lace and leather and bangles up to here. I had a flat top with a little thing out the front. I mean, and I'm just trying to find myself. I'm just trying to.
And weren't you somebody's mother then?
No.
Okay, good.
This was at 19 and 20. Okay, so I'm trying to find myself. And here's the thing over the years that I learned about myself, right? Is that I'm really not like everybody else, but I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wanting to be really bad, and so I was doing what other people were doing, but I wasn't getting it right. So I got my beauty control makeup, and I got my black lace, and I got my bangles, I got my big shoes, got my flat top. And my boss had someone come to me and talk to me about looking like a hooker. That was not the look I was going for, right?
Right.
Okay, it's the same thing when you really do an avant-garde haircut, do some avant-garde makeup, you're really pushing and pushing and pushing that envelope. That's the person who wants to stand out when they walk in the room. But you can get away with an avant-garde haircut by dressing conservatively, wearing conservative makeup. Vice versa. You can wear super conservative hair and get away with outlandish, crazy makeup by using a brighter color or by going outside the lines. The rule is you stay inside these lines. Guess what? If I want to exaggerate that, watch what happens. Let them get a good look at your eyeball. If I want to exaggerate that shape, I can come way out here and exaggerate that shape. It looks like a paisley. Y'all see that? And now when she opens her eye, see how much wider and even more awake her eyes look. And then I can play that up
I like the other look on her better.
by going out even more with this. As long as we stay at the end of that tip of that eyebrow. Okay? Now we're going to do the opposite on the other eye so that we see exactly the differences that these make. We're going to stay light on the outside and next to the lashes. And we haven't done this brow, remember that. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take the green, exact same two colors, totally different look. And you're going to see why well, you'll see how we choose. Where
I'm
we
glad she chose you. So it's funny when you go home with two different eyes.
My husband will be flatbed in the asleep, like, now my son, he might be like, what?
Y'all see the difference? These are common sense mistakes to us, but this is what our clients are doing.
I don't know how to do mine because with mine I've got the saggy eye.
Well, you know, sometimes you just have to play. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to work my way here. Now I'm trying to get very close. She does have squiggly eyes. Trying to get really close to the eyelash. And now I want you to open. Look all the way at the ceiling. Now look down. Keep your eye open.
That's so weird.
Wow. Oh, but gosh, your eyes look really.
This has to be wiped off, so I'm just going to leave it
Have the
uncovered.
doctor swab my eye.
Okay, now I like to go over that. Again, this is espresso close. I like to go over that. Now, with this, I dab. The reason I dab is because if you've ever taken eyeshadow this close to the eye and wiped it, you know that you get those little specks in the eye. So I dab and literally push it into the product.
What are you dabbing?
I'm dabbing the shadow on top of the liner.
Gotcha.
Okay, you can open, and this is what I'm using. It's an angle brush.
Okay.
Okay, so look at the ceiling for me. And I'm coming under the lashes, I'm dabbing. Now, a lot of times, especially with dark